What's up, everybody? This is John Bush, and today we're here on the hot seat. We got Danielle Iorio, and we are going to talk about her career. We're going to talk about her career path in telecommunications, and more importantly, her being a board member on the Penn, Ohio SCTE. Danielle, how are you this morning?
Hey, I'm great. Glad to be here.
Good, excellent. Well, thank you for your time today, and I hope to ask you some questions and get everybody to get to know you a little bit better. And yes, we are going to put this on YouTube, so it should be pretty fun. So Danielle, give me a little bit about maybe your personal background, if you will. Like, what do you like to do, family type things, and importantly, where are you from?
Yeah, so I grew up in Pittsburgh area. I'm in Indiana, Pennsylvania now. I moved here just about a year and a half ago, kind of for adopted family. But what I like to do is really centered right now around my little kids. So I have an almost 4-year-old, a 6-year-old. They're in baseball and dance and swimming and all that stuff. So a lot with that. A lot of us just kind of getting out, messing around outside, gardening, all that stuff. Slowly, I would say, kind of getting back into some personal time a little bit. So feeling that out, but I love going to concerts, live performances really in general, hiking, being outdoors, traveling, starting to do that, getting a little brave with the kids lately, a little more, to be adventurous there. Yeah, reading, I don't know, whatever I can kind of sneak in is sort of where I'm at right now. But
That's awesome. So you said your kids are 4 and 6?
Yeah, almost 4 yet.
Well, have you gone down the path of the Scouts, or the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts type thing?
Yeah, so my their dad is an Eagle Scout, and he was an Eagle Scout. He achieved that. So we have a goal to get him involved in Scouts here soon. We'll probably start that next year.
Yeah, the Scouts is really cool. I found from kids, from my son, he's 6, and the outdoors. You just take them there, and so much fun. They're learning life skills and whatnot. Yeah, just a great thing. Now, you said you like concerts. What was the last live concert you have been to?
Oh gosh, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit it a little bit. So there's a band that I got exposure to 20 years ago called the Postal Service. They put out one album. I don't know that I'm recommending it to people, but I love it. And they were doing kind of like a 20th anniversary thing. I went to the concert by myself, actually, because I don't even know anybody else that likes it. But I went to that a few months ago, and that was kind of cool. I had never seen them. I don't know. I guess I kind of will see a bunch of, live sort of local stuff here and there. And I have some things on the horizon that I'm gonna be checking out as well. This is, again, kind of getting back into, hey, I'm starting to get some free time. And
yeah, good. All right, so let's talk about, if we can, maybe shift a little bit to telecommunications. I'd love to hear your story, kind of your career, even if you want to go a little bit before telecommunications. Just how did you get from where you started, if you went to college or not, and came out, and then maybe you went into telecommunications, maybe you didn't, but I'd love to hear your story about how you got into telecommunications.
Yeah. So I went to school for accounting. And I kind of figured out, hey, accounting was finance kind of stuff is something that I think I'm good at, even through college. But I was starting to figure kind of halfway through college, like, I don't know if it's something I want to do forever. But I was halfway through my degree, so I just finished it. I got out of school. I went into accounting. I went into public accounting, and I had worked there. Just kind of sort of accepting that, like, hey, I guess this is going to be my fate, right? This is what my background's in, my degree's in. So I was in accounting for a couple of years doing public accounting, like auditing and consulting. And then I went to work for a company that did life insurance and annuities, got promoted to be in management in kind of the finance and accounting piece. And it was for a nonprofit. I was looking for a change, saw this posting for Comcast. Had my first interview, was like on a phone interview, and I just really clicked with the person who was going to be my hiring manager. I could tell. So that was like a selling point too. But just going through the process, and I was like, all right, working for a bigger company could maybe have some of its perks from maybe taking my career in another direction. Because I was seeing and hearing about people who were in finance accounting and moving into operations or marketing or different things. And I was like, wait a minute, this is what I want to do. So I first came into telecommunications in 2016 in finance. as a manager, and I was supporting tech ops. And our team's approach is really to get like really ingrained in the operations side of things, which is again what I wanted, right? I didn't want to just kind of do the numbers sort of piece. So it was great. I was in finance and accounting there for a few years, and then I had an opportunity to get into operations in construction. So I took a lateral move to get there, because I had this goal of taking my career in a different path. And so 2019 went into construction. We're 2024, so I've been here for probably, I think I'm right on the 5-year mark in September. So I've moved in various roles. I started in Comcast's Keystone region. I moved to the division. I was supporting XNet and Fiber Deep projects. That transitioned to a big project that we have at Comcast doing mid-split upgrades. And then now my role, still at division, is working with the regions on the BAU new build, like Metro E, SMB, residential, kind of smaller new builds throughout our division.
Did you find that in the accounting world per se, that it was very siloed, almost like engineering? You know, you go into an office and, you know, the person's doing the accounting for the day, and then they don't seem to interact that much, or is it not that way? That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think at first, like I used to kind of be maybe a more introverted, quieter person. And actually it's true. I think I kind of gravitated toward that a little bit, maybe for that reason. But I mean, I think it's just like that the way your brain works, that left brain kind of organized, logical math way is something natural to me. But no, I mean, for sure, you're going to have a blend of personalities there. When you get into like the finance side of things, it's less of like just taking, you know, stock of like the bean counting. It's more of like driving the business and partnering with operations and making strategic decisions and smart decisions. And so it definitely can get more collaborative when you get into kind of that finance end of it. But for sure, that's what kind of played in whenever I got here, that collaboration and understanding the business I'm supporting. And, you know, again, working with the tech ops people and building those relationships and getting out into the field with them, you know, helps me build those relationships to kind of make it a little easier to get into operations. So I think for me, I think over the years kind of just gained more comfort level in, I don't know, I guess my own confidence, my own kind of abilities. Maybe realize I'm actually a little bit more of an extrovert than I always thought that I was.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
For a person aspiring to be in telecommunications, and specifically in a role like yours, what advice would you give to somebody to say, hey, you know, if you're interested in telecommunications, here are the things that I would recommend doing. Like, I don't know, probably some good books and things like that. But in general, what would you tell them? You know, as far as, hey, you know, make sure you do X, Y, and Z, and, you know, you can be very successful, not just in telecommunications, but really in any career path for that matter. But specifically, I think we'll say telecommunications.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I think, I mean, you know, some of my advice might be a little more general. Proactive is my favorite word. You know, the person that's going to stand out to me when I'm looking for people. And I think a lot of people in leadership are looking for those proactive people. So people are coming with, you know, not only problems, but solutions, with ideas, you know, just kind of driving the needle forward on their own. I think just having that can be a start for a recipe for success to go into so many different directions. For sure, what applies to my career journey, as we talked about, is kind of thinking outside of the box on where you need to go. So, you know, a lot of folks may be in they're maybe a field technician, and they're all right, well, my next step is to be a supervisor of field technicians. And maybe it is, and maybe that path makes sense for you. But, you know, working at some of the large companies that we have in telecommunications really can be a door opener to other things for other interests. And that's where I think proactive comes in, right? Start poking people, talking to your leader on, hey, can I sit with someone somewhere else that I may be interested in something? And just kind of see what's that about. If you're applying for a role, especially if it's kind of not necessarily a natural fit with your background, what I always do is I actually am reaching out to that person. I say, hey, you know, who can I get with on your team? Maybe the hiring leaders who I'm reaching out to. Who can I get with on your team to kind of, you know, help me to understand a little bit more about your business, or and just even showing that initiative to people can kind of make you stand out. But I think in telecommunications in general, and again, working for a larger company, there's so many different directions you can go. I think just don't put that limit on yourself if you're thinking about moving in another potential direction.
So moving into maybe the SCTE, the board here for a moment, I'd like to just maybe ask, how long have you been on the board at Penn, Ohio?
Yeah, so I joined a little over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago or so as an associate member, and then there was an opportunity for me to become, a voting member of the board. So a little over a year. I got involved kind of right before the golf outing of 2023. And, I wanted to be on the board. I was really excited. I had kind of proactively reached to some folks in our chapter about how I can get involved. And so I've been involved ever since this year. I'm chairing membership and maybe, just trying to take things in a little different direction, thinking outside of the box on getting renewals, getting new members. We're doing really great there so far, and looking forward to keep growing. We have a lot of potential to get more engagement in our chapter. So that's been my focus so far.
What is something you'd want to tell them, maybe not just about telecommunications, but in general, a piece of life advice that you can give them for whatever career path or whatever they decide to do? What's something that you've learned over your years being on the planet here and interacting with the people you've interacted that you'd like to share with the people watching?
Yeah, I just think I think diversity and skill set is just a really kind of big thing. Like, be the best at what you do, but push yourself to kind of grow in other ways as well that maybe don't necessarily make sense with the role that you're in right now. I think that can help you in your personal life too, right? And just kind of getting more well-rounded. But especially for people who aspire to even just move up in the type of field that they're in. Not necessarily always the best technician is going to be the best leader, right? And maybe you are, and you're already well-rounded in that way. But I think pushing yourself to kind of grow in other ways that might not seem obvious is just something, I don't know, that I kind of strive to do in all facets of my life. But I think professionally, sometimes people don't put enough emphasis on that as well, and I think anybody could use it.
Oh, that's excellent. No, that is a really good piece of advice. And guys, you guys heard it first here. So Danielle, I want to thank you very much for your time today and your patience going through some of the shenanigans with the stop and starts here on the recording, but greatly appreciate your patience and your time and your knowledge to our viewers. So thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks for having me.